welcome back. I know it's been a while since we last saw you.
It's been 84 years.
Yeah, we're a couple weeks late actually on our most recent episode with the Valley finale. Sorry about that, guys, but we have it. It's here. By the time you watch this or listen to this, depending on where you're getting this episode from, yeah, we dropped the ball. We were a little late with our episode by a couple weeks, but
please forgive us.
We are back on track, and
yes.
We are actually going to be splitting this episode into 2 parts for you.
Yes, so when you see us in the same clothes, no, you didn't.
Exactly. I actually like how we look right now, so.
I know, we're hella cute today.
We are hella cute today,
yeah.
So, you know, it might not be the worst thing in the world.
No.
So, before we get started, I'm going to remember this time.
Yay!
Just follow us on all of our socials, Pumped Up Tea for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, join our Patreon. I just have like a overload of things that just need to go on there, bonus content-wise. And yeah, so just follow us, you know, hang with us.
Your love and attention.
Give us our love, attention, our validation, you know.
Uh-huh.
We really need it after this past, like, couple of weeks.
Honestly. No, I mean, we've been popping on the gram more, guys. I don't know if you've noticed.
I love it.
I'm all up in there now.
I love it, honestly. I'm here for it.
It's so fun. I'm having a blast. I love the Instagram.
I like how you change up the font, too, sometimes when you're posting stories. So it's like, It's almost like our way of knowing, like, who's on when.
It's whatever, like, default. That's the font that is when I do it is, like, the one that I use on my personal Instagram all the time. So it's just, like, set that way. So then when I don't change the font because that's just like what it is.
Yeah.
But I think you pointed that out. No, you're right. I like that actually.
It's like fun. How we personify ourselves.
Yes. I am this font and you are the other one.
Yeah. So this part of the episode, part 1, is going to be basically just us recapping Billie Lee's response. I think that this will finally be the end of the Billie Lee, Victoria Lee.
I think we're done. I feel like it's been a couple days and it's been pretty quiet. So I feel like we're, thankfully.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this shit, Grandpa.
Well, that's too damn bad. Also, thank you guys to the New Yorkers that have validated me on the post that I put out yesterday of Billie Lee's bare ass feet walking around Central Park.
You literally only take your shoes off in the grass, and it's because you're just sitting on your blanket. That's
I wouldn't even do that.
Really? That's the only time I ever did it was if we were like picnicking. My feet were on my blanket. They weren't like on the grass.
That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that.
Like your shoes are off because you're like on your blanket and you're like having a picnic day. But like as soon as I get up to go anywhere, those shoes are on.
Yeah, no, barefoot anywhere in New York City just grosses me out. It's so gross.
For trouble.
Yeah, because you never know like what you're coming across like in the New York City streets and the New York City grass.
Yes. No, the way that it was, she made it look like she's climbing a fucking mountain. I'm like, girl, I know what boulder you're on. It's a boulder.
I like that boulder. That is a nice boulder. All right, so I guess we are ready to get right into it.
Bring it on.
T was a guest on Billie Lee and the Kids podcast.
Yes.
And they're basically just talking all about, you know, the live that Victoria and Kyle did with Up and Adam. Basically, they start off by saying that T and Tom were texting as recently as December while he was away in Thailand. And she's basically saying that the relationship must have been serious enough to where, like, he wanted to meet her mom and...
T's mom?
T's mom, yeah. So I found that to be really interesting. I thought that this was just going to be more of, like, a one-and-done type thing.
No, he really was... Yeah, the man was scrambling for a lady.
Yeah, pretty much. Always going to be scrambling for a lady. Billie Lee says that Tom and Victoria were together since November, and
but he was talking to T in December.
And apparently Tom has cheated on her multiple times.
Well, duh.
Yeah, like nothing about this is surprising.
We've known that because months ago we saw those pictures of him with that girl at the bar and we were like, It was like right after he went public with Victoria.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally. Billie Lee mentions having lost all of her friends due to being friends with Sandoval 6 weeks post-scandal.
Oh, no. The consequences of your actions.
It seems that she doesn't really have any regrets about it because Tom was in a pretty bad place. There's always got to be somebody that sticks around.
Well, yeah, but you can't complain when everybody...
hates you
because you sided with the
Mm-hmm.
enemy.
Sheena actually even recently said on her podcast that Billie Lee is a known liar. She doesn't really know enough about Tom and Victoria's relationship. So
I believe that.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't. It's this, I said that about Ariana and Tom. Everyone was making comments. We made comments, but the whole group of like, oh well, they weren't blah blah blah. Like, you don't know. Yeah. You didn't live in their house. You weren't in their intimate relationship.
Right. At this point,
saw it
right?
From the outside.
Who from the Vanderpump world, right, is within their right to make any kind of comments about this?
Literally
because they're all so removed from it, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Billie Lee claims that she always thought Kyle was fake and owns that she did pull the trans card too much on Vanderpump Rules until she found out that production was the one to ice her out during that invite list that she blamed Katie for. She apparently found out that Katie actually had nothing to do with that and that it was all production.
Mm-hmm. You know, I don't believe it, but I also don't believe it. You know what I mean?
I kind of do believe it.
I could believe it, and then I'm also like, I don't know. I don't like the idea of blaming everything on production because then it takes out the like realness of it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, that's some shit that production would definitely pull.
Exactly. And then once Billie Lee, like, would assume, right, that it was Katie that iced her out, of course they're not going to be like, oh, no, that's not true. No, of course. They took it and they ran with it.
Yes.
You know, and they just, like, rubbed their maniacal hands like, we did it. We got a great storyline here.
Yeah.
So I can believe that production had something to do with all of that because it ended up making for really good drama.
Oh yeah, those were some really good episodes.
Yeah, there were no cameras in the house, according to T and Billie Lee. There was never like a red light on that Victoria was talking about in her interview with Adam. Apparently, she did push Victoria to buy 2 Nest cameras, but they ended up just sitting in the box. And she airs out that there are no cameras in the front or back of the house, and that's what ended up leading to like Billie Lee's car getting broken into, her laptop getting stolen, and all of that stuff. But the fact that she airs out that this person's house is just not safe to be around.
Honestly.
Right?
If I was Ariana, I'd be pissed because I still own that house.
Billie Lee claims that Victoria called Kyle fake to her and said that he is in love with Tom. And T kind of also confirmed that because she also thinks that Kyle is into Tom. Basically, he would flirt with Tom whenever they were on at music festivals, and Tom was always fine with it, basically saying that Kyle would get a little zesty. And that's the word that she used. He would get zesty. So nothing surprises me about that either because I'm sure Tom would allow anything with a pulse to flirt with him.
I mean, I've always kind of thought that Tom and Jax were a little
on that side,
Yeah,
not fully straight, but a little more sexually fluid.
Yes, that's that's the word I was looking for in my brain. Sexually fluid. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you brain celled. Thank you. I'm like, what is the word I'm looking for?
Which, by the way, we don't judge. It's still Pride Month, so
no, absolutely not. Be yourself, homie.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself. I forgot what movie that was, but it was the one with Ryan Reynolds in it. I think it was Just Friends or something like that, but it was pretty funny. The group being like Billie Lee, T, the kid, I think her name is Samantha or something like that. Sorry. The group does agree that Tom is not a good friend to Kyle, especially when he's airing out things like that, when Kyle would make advances on Tom behind Kyle's back. Billie Lee then says that Tom would yell at Victoria on the phone saying that she's trying to isolate him from his friends. And then she also says that Tom is triangulating and pitting her and Victoria against each other in that time when they were fighting and stuff.
I can see that.
I love how now the new buzzword is triangulating.
Oh, yeah, they found a new word.
Like, everybody's taking, like, therapy words now and implementing it in their everyday lives.
Boundaries was the one for Vanderpump this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then once Ariana used the word triangulate, now everybody's using it.
They have, like, little fucking grabby hands at it.
Mm-hmm.
Gimme.
Yeah. Billie Lee says that she's heartbroken and she did so much for Tom to have all of this happen between them. So she's upset she basically lost a friend. Although, why are you surprised that this man did any of this to you?
Thank you. Girl, the signs were there.
The signs were there.
Look at you have 11 seasons of, like, receipts, right? The most recent one happened a year ago.
Yep.
If he can fuck over his partner, his life partner, then he'll fuck over a friend, no problem.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
If he'll do that to Ariana, He'll do it to you.
This is now the part of the podcast where the receipts start coming out. Billie Lee actually did come prepared with some text messages.
I did see the screenshots of them.
Thank you, Bravo and Blaze, by the way. You actually saved me a lot of effort trying to look through those text messages, because she ended up just posting them all.
She did, yeah.
Did the Lord's work. So,
yeah.
Thank you, Jenny. You're the best. So Josh, who is Tom's cousin and apparently his assistant, because we don't have Craig anymore, Josh apparently told Billy that he was tired of Tom canceling meetings, and then Billie Lee said that Tom needed to treat Josh better, which, again, doesn't really surprise me all that much.
No, it tracks.
Yeah.
How he treated Ann.
And probably Craig, too. Josh was the one to start the group chat to coordinate this intervention, and I'm putting air quotes around intervention because the word was never explicitly used in the text messages.
No, it was implied.
It was kind of sort of implied. They basically were saying, like, we need to figure out how to get Tom on the right track.
Yeah.
And this text chain was between Josh, Kyle, Jason, who's Tom's bandmate and manager, and Billy. T then claims that Kyle called her to say that Tom was in a dark place and that his relationship with Victoria was a wreck. But my question is, why? Why is Kyle reaching out to T, somebody who he used to be talking to but is no longer talking to, and talking about their relationship? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. They did plan the intervention for Kyle's birthday, thinking that Tom was going to show up, and spoiler, he did not. He basically played the sick card.
Shocking.
One thing I do want to say, and I have it in my notes for later, that Tom was getting like sick all the time. He was drinking again with Victoria. This actually does kind of track, because let's go back in time for a second, right? Tom did Nick Vile's podcast back in January. And if we remember, he was like 2 hours late.
Yes.
Kristen said that the night before on her podcast, he was hanging out with Luke and they were out partying, getting really drunk and wasted and whatever. So he probably was going to try and get out of that podcast. And again, he showed up 2 hours late. I also remember seeing somewhere that the night before the reunion, Tom and Tom also were out partying. And he didn't get much sleep before that reunion either. So, and that was back in March?
Yes.
So he was already dating Victoria at that time.
Yes.
So, not implying anything, but just want to drop that nugget right there. Then T kind of brings up how close he and Billie Lee and she were, because they apparently would go out and go like hiking 3 times a week. Or no, they would go hiking a lot with Kyle and Tom. And they went to karaoke like 3 times a week. So there apparently was like some sort of friendship there.
Oh yeah, I don't think any of us thought that there wasn't.
Yeah. And she said that at some point in the podcast that apparently the only fight that T and Tom ever got in was when she wanted to go home from somewhere and she lived only a couple miles away. He didn't want to drive her home because he wanted to go pick up another girl. So she ended up having to walk home those 2 miles. Kind of fucked up. I wouldn't be friends with him anymore at that point.
God, he's such a worm.
Such a fucking worm, dude.
It's so gross.
Billy never told Victoria that Kyle dragged Tom to take advantage of him, but just that they were friends who did together. He would not be included in the intervention if he did try to essay Tom. And this I believe, because why would you want your perpetrator to...
I never believed that insinuation.
Yeah, we said that too in our other recap too, but it just feels weird. Why would Kyle be involved in an intervention if he did something like that? Yeah.
Well, there are some people that are like that.
That's true.
But that being said, I didn't really believe that accusation against Kyle.
Victoria was pissed when she found out about the failed intervention. And then I wrote in parentheses in my notes here, like, how did she find out?
Yeah.
Was it Kyle?
Probably.
Right? Like, if Kyle seems to be the one person that seems to be playing both sides.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I would believe claims if Kyle were fake. Because we said it last week, and we've said it for months. Kyle must be some sort of sketchy individual if you're going to ride this deep for Tom.
Yes. Yes. I question you. Yeah. I got questions if you're like, what's there?
Mm-hmm.
Underneath the mustache and the white eye lines on your eyeballs and the nail polish.
Right. Billie Lee then picked up her stuff after the failed intervention. And this was at the point where the friendship was over.
Mm-hmm.
Between
Billie and Victoria.
Between Billie and Tom.
Billie and Tom, okay.
Which, by proxy, also
It's
means
Billie
Victoria.
And Victoria. Okay.
Billie Lee calls Victoria to tell her that she's upset that she said Kyle tried to SA Tom. And apparently that phone call was on speakerphone on Victoria's end, and Victoria was with Kyle. This part confuses me because you're calling this girl out on a lie that she told in front of the person whom the lie is about.
Mm-hmm.
But Kyle's sitting on Victoria's side when it comes to the whole Billie Lee argument.
So, okay, hold on. Who was the one that started this lie?
Apparently Victoria. Because Billie Lee basically told Victoria that they were two friends that like to do together when they go to.
Victoria said that he tried to take advantage of Tom.
Yeah, so she spun it.
She spun it. Okay, yeah. So then why is Kyle sitting on her side of the phone call?
Exactly. Questions. So many questions.
That's shady as fuck.
Very shady. Tom apparently records his fights with Victoria so that people will believe him if she tries to call 911 saying that he abused her.
Tom, I mean, that's actually kind of smart.
Well, Tom says that he didn't want what happened with Ariana to happen again, and basically said that Ariana was playing the victim in the breakup. But even Billie Lee was saying, like, she was.
You had an affair for 7 months. Yeah. How are you?
How many times do we have to rehash it, right? Like,
God.
But here's the other thing. Here's my other issue with this, right?
Yes.
Anybody can record an argument with a partner, right?
Yes.
But how are you going to record it before you know the argument's going to happen? So you're already going to be missing context of the argument, which means that theoretically, Tom could say something or do something to rile up Victoria. And then as soon as she gets mad and upset with him, right, start recording and make it seem like she's the instigator. This is just a theory. I'm not saying that this is a fact that Tom would do this, but
it's so gross.
It feels like something he would do.
Yes, considering he's been out here for a year talking about how he's the real victim of Sandoval.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, kind of weird.
So weird.
In the earlier stages of Victoria Lee and Billie Lee's friendship, Billie Lee says that Victoria would love bomb her and always ask her to hang out and get like ice cream or do whatever. And Billie Lee took that as them being or becoming close friends.
Mm-hmm.
But then she would kind of turn around and like suddenly become all paranoid about Billie Lee and Tom potentially sleeping together. And, you know, it's just a lot of flip-flopping back and forth, and it's a little confusing.
Yes. Yeah. But I can see why she would get that way if Tom is consistently cheating on her. And you're going to be paranoid about any woman that's spending any amount of time with him.
But that's the price you pay when you go to date somebody whom you know is a known cheater.
That came after my comma was, this is what you get. This is the consequences of that.
Yeah. Pretty much. Now we're going to get into the Abby section of the podcast.
Who is Abby again?
So Abby, and this is a code name. This girl basically wanted to stay anonymous.
Okay.
This is a girl who, pre-Victoria,
mm-hmm.
Tom had been, I guess, sleeping with at one point.
Okay.
And I guess at some point, this girl felt the need to reach out to Billie Lee via the DMs. Mm-hmm. Probably sometime in between, like, when the drama first started and when the Up and Adam interview happened, maybe sometime after.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, Billie Lee did her podcast only a few days after the Up and Adam interview.
Yes.
So maybe Abby reached out to her around that point when she was prepping everything.
Okay.
And like she had screenshots of screenshots of messages and a voice note from her. So
okay.
Yeah. So her code name is Abby.
Okay.
Basically, she reached out to Billie Lee to say that she was sleeping with Tom, and apparently Victoria was love bombing her too. So this must have been during a point in time when he was A, talking to T, and B, he and Victoria were still just friends because they had been friends for some time before they actually started dating.
Yes.
But apparently Victoria Lee wanted to be this girl's friend while that was happening.
Yeah, keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Mm-hmm. Victoria would, and I said this earlier, Victoria would flip back and forth between trying to be friends with Tom's lady friends, but then get paranoid saying that he was cheating on her with them, which then also makes the more gray area of like, okay, so when did these two actually start dating?
Yes.
Right? Because Billie Lee claims it was November. Victoria Lee claims it was February.
Yes. She's claiming February to save her ass.
Probably because Tom had already said February on Watch What Happens Live.
Yes.
So, of course, she wasn't going to go against what he said.
Well, it's the same as with Miami Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Ariana covered Tom's ass because they were dating, but we weren't exclusive then, so it was okay. It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Abby says that Tom told her that he wants his next girlfriend to be a model, right? Basically right after they had slept together. So she was like still sitting in his bed naked, and he's telling her that he wants to date a model next.
Ew.
And somebody who's not gonna ride on his coattails.
What coattails, Tom? You have a cover band and you sound like a fucking ratchet ass. I don't even have a description for what you sound like.
A ratchet Freddie Mercury.
Thank you. Yep. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Brain selling. What coattails, sir? You know who has coattails right now? Your ex-girlfriend. Okay, we'll talk about this later, but I literally cannot get over how fucking stunning she is on the
my God.
I literally cannot handle it.
Oh my God, I know.
I'm girl crushing so hard.
Yeah. T confirms that Tom wants a model next because she's 5'2", she's not a model, and Tom has basically claimed this before. So basically,
So
T knew apparently as well that she was never going to be endgame with Tom.
That's so gross. It reminds me of Jack sleeping with Faith, and then literally 2 seconds after it, whoop, and he's talking about shit like Brittany. Like it's no wonder they're friends. Mm-hmm. You literally just hit it, and now you're laying in bed all sweaty and gross, right? And you're like, I want to date a model.
I'm looking for a guy in finance.
Well, the girl you just had your little willy in is like right there.
It's so gross.
It's disgusting.
Abby also claims that Tom liked her because she looked a little bit like a boy.
Sexually fluid.
Yep. This also correlates with when Ariana cut her hair. Nice and short.
She looked so good with the bob, though.
She did. She did.
Oh, yeah. He was like cuckoo bananas for the hair.
Cuckoo bananas for the hair.
I forgot about that.
And when Rachel cut her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sexually. Abby also says that Billie Lee was a good friend to Tom, which kind of also feels weird. Like she's just basically stroking Billie Lee's ego.
Yeah, how do you even know? You don't even know her.
Like you only know what you've seen
on
in the
television.
Tabloids and on TV. And
yeah, that's gross. That feels a little...
Yeah. This is where they also play the voice note now from Abby, and they distorted her voice.
Okay.
So that she can stay anonymous.
That was nice of them.
Yeah, because apparently she's scared of what Kyle and Victoria will say if they know who she is. I feel though that they would already know who she is. If Tom, this sounds like a very specific person.
If the timeline is what they're saying it is, Victoria would already know who she is.
Plot twist, it's that girl from the bar.
Oh! Spicy.
She says that Victoria might have lied about not watching the show because she seems to know about the Ariana and Rachel thing, but didn't really seem concerned, didn't seem to be asking any follow-up questions. But if you were already talking to Tom, and if you just simply Google him, you would easily find all of this out. You don't need to watch the show to know about it.
The whole world knew about Sandoval. It was on fucking CNN.
Mm-hmm. Like, everybody was talking about Sandoval at that point.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can still not watch the show and still know about all of that drama.
Be like, oh, I saw that on, like, the little reader thing on the bottom of my news channel.
And you're still well within your right to not want to ask any follow-up questions about it, because if you're getting the story straight from the horse's mouth, I mean, albeit maybe probably a bit distorted, that's your prerogative.
Yes.
You know?
It's a pony that thinks it's a show horse.
Exactly. We're finally entering the final section of the podcast. There could be things, by the way, that I'm not touching on. I just kind of wanted to keep this as short as possible, and really just sticking to key points. But if there's anything that you guys do want to talk about, definitely feel free to leave it in the comments. But in this final section, Billie Lee claims that she's never talked to the press or anything, despite her management basically wanting her to make a statement. And I do believe that her people would want her to make a statement. And my reasoning for that is because she was planning a book tour. She was planning on, releasing a book. So you know, you wouldn't want all of this bad press, you know, to reflect on you. Yeah, exactly.
I don't care.
Billie Lee did want to go back onto Vanderpump Rules so she can clear her name about them sleeping together. But apparently production lied to her once again and edited the show to make it look like she was in love with him.
I mean, that's true. Girl, I saw that cold plunge scene. I mean, you can't fake that look in her eyeballs, though.
No, you really can't. And this is kind of where I think, again, there's still so much gray area, and I really do think there was some sort of, even if it was just maybe 1 or 2 times, I think that still there was something going on between those two.
Absolutely. Yeah. I still fully believe that she has some sort of like infatuation or love with him. Like, you don't pick me this hard for that guy unless you're like,
exactly. He's my best friend.
Yeah, no, she sounds, so some, like we said in the last time we recapped, where we keep flip-flopping because at like one point it's like, I believe Billie, but at another point it's like, you look at her past actions and things that she said, and it's like, is she being this aggressive to Victoria because she's mad Tom didn't pick her? Because that also tracks.
Exactly.
So it's like, I believe that production probably absolutely manipulated it because they had their hands way deep in the cookie jar this season with everything.
Yeah.
But also, like, girl, production can't put that look in your eyes when you stared at him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And in the pool scene when you were getting, like, annoyed that he was talking to other girls.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We did kind of gloss over that.
Yeah. You can blame production, but, like, production's not in charge of your face.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Apparently, she's seen Tom naked a bunch of times, and he's apparently not her type, and that she's into more of like a dad bod.
How are you seeing this man naked?
I hate to say, it's not like he's unattractive. It's just his behavior that makes him unattractive.
I will say, right? Because if Caroline ever hears this and she doesn't, and she'll call me out in a second, because I used to think Tom was hot, and she used to get she would tease my ass so hard for that. So if she is listening right now and she would comment real hard that I lied.
Max basically calls Tom Sandoval like long hair and mustache.
Yes.
Basically like a discount Johnny Depp.
Early seasons, Tom, I thought he was really cute, right? And then the older he got and the more into drugs that they got and the more egotistical and you know, narcissistic and famous and like dickish he got, the less I was like, ew, now you're gross. But I did at one point, unfortunately, think that he was. Yeah. It was him and Schwartz were the ones that, like, if there was any guy on the show. And then Beau came around, and it was all over for all of them.
Beau.
Yeah.
Beau. Apparently, Billie Lee had spoken to Josh on the phone the night before the podcast, and Josh had told her that he loves her, and he knows who she is, and her argument is that if she is that bad of a person, why would Josh, his own assistant, be telling her these things? I don't really have much input on that. Yeah. It is what it is, right? Billie Lee does show a text of Tom telling her that Victoria had dumped him again, but then immediately texts her again saying, never mind. So I guess there was some truth to how much they would argue back and forth.
I'm breaking up with you. Never mind.
Just kidding.
You are the worst boyfriend ever. We're breaking. Oh, let me not actually. And literally, as I'm typing that, his name pops up. You're the worst boyfriend ever. We're breaking up. Just kidding. I love you. Girl, go take a nap.
Go touch some grass.
Go take a nap.
Billie Lee and T talk about Adam glossing over the fact that Tom and Victoria had unfollowed each other during Watch What Happens Live. I think everybody noticed that.
We all noticed it. We talked about it on here.
We did talk about it on here.
And I had questions then, and that is literally, I think that's the episode where we said, Victoria, I have questions. Why did you unfollow him? Why did you refollow him? Why are you still dating him?
So many questions.
So many questions.
Billie Lee then shows texts from her birthday from Victoria saying that Billie Lee needed to tell Tom to stop blowing up her friend's phone. Victoria would constantly check in with her whenever they would fight. And she did actually show a screenshot of like just back-to-back messages. And then also there was a text showing like, oh, I'm heading there now to go pick up my car or something like that. So it just shows how toxic the relationship truly was.
Yeah.
Which again goes back when Tom Schwartzy was saying how toxic Rachel and his relationship was.
Well, Schwartzy has unfollowed Victoria on Instagram.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we talked about that last week too. I don't know if he ever followed her to begin with. I could be wrong, but.
Oh, well, I'm sure. Okay, those two were attached to the hip, so I'm sure that he did. And then and as this relationship progresses, and he's in this nice relationship with his little sister. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot get over the age gap. I can't do it. She's like fucking 19. This man is 40. Okay, it's gross. As he's getting in this relationship and he's having a positive relationship himself, like he's probably seeing this and being like, dude, she's a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Victoria would try to get Billie Lee's key to Tom and Ariana's house to get her pills. And Billie Lee always found it a little weird that Victoria was just trying to, like, snag the key to Tom's house, even though she was spending like 90% of her time there.
Why? There must be a reason why you didn't have your own key then.
Billie Lee says again that Victoria would move plants into the master bedroom, would try to organize movers to get Ariana's belongings out of there. Meanwhile, Tom just didn't really care. He was fine with being in the guest room. I do kind of believe that.
Also, I don't know. I find it really weird that the new girlfriend would want to sleep in the master bedroom on the mattress that he used to sleep with his life partner on,
and his mistress,
and his mistress. That's right. I forgot he and Rachel slept together in that bed.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't touch it with like a 10-foot pole.
Exactly.
We're burning that mattress. All of those sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billie Lee also talks about the wanting Tom's sperm conversation, and she did bring up Tom and Ariana did offer to help her have a baby. Ariana was willing to give her her eggs. Tom was willing to give her his sperm. Yeah. T also confirmed this because of how bad Billie Lee has wanted to have a child.
Okay.
I knew I remembered this conversation too, and I don't remember where or when she said it, but I know it was sometime post-Sandoval, and she was looking to have their help because they were all still very close friends at the time. Billie Lee and Tom did ultimately decide, they agreed, not to go through with it because of the idea that Tom would have to be a father figure eventually to this kid. And this was all before he met Victoria. She also kind of mentions that with all the lying around the house, like she wouldn't really want to be bringing a kid into that kind of environment.
Also, for you to get his sperm, he has to be sober for 3 months, and he wouldn't even do that for Ariana. So what makes you think he's going to do that for you? Also, of all the sperm, why Tom's?
Yeah.
What's in there?
Physical genes, I guess. I don't know, man.
Get a sperm donor, like Lala did.
Do a whole, like, sperm donor selection party like Lala did.
Just of all the sperm you can get, it's Tom Sandoval. Because you can get it for free.
Yeah. Adopt or something, too. You don't even have to go down, like, the sperm and egg route.
No, there's plenty of... Their foster care system in this country fucking shit.
Yeah.
Adopt those kids, man.
Adopt. Apparently, she claims that Victoria also lied about being part of the sperm donor conversation because, again, I believe this because if all these conversations were happening prior to her even being around, why would she be involved in these conversations?
Yeah.
Billie Lee hopes that Victoria will get help for a potential drug problem that she may have that Victoria has already denied. She claims that Victoria was looking into living in like a detox place or a sober house or something along those lines.
Well, there's plenty of those in California.
Plenty of them. Still so many questions with that.
Yes.
Lily Lee closes the episode by saying that she was in a very dark place mentally, financially, when she joined the cast of Vanderpump Rules. She left for her book tour the following day and says that the idea of doing all of this for clout is dumb because this was all months in the works. And I'm a little split on that one because on the one hand, right, it does take time to plan all of these things. You don't just get to say I'm writing a book or I'm going on tour and it just magically happens. Yeah. Those things do take a lot of time and effort to plan.
Yes.
Would it hurt though to add some publicity to your name in being involved in these kind of scandals and drama and things like that to amp up an audience for your tour?
You take advantage of what is happening around you. Mm-hmm. Yes. So I wouldn't be surprised if when this first started unfolding, her PR team went, "Oh shit!
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. This is good for our book."
Yeah.
Because really, who cares about Billie's book?
Yeah. So, final thoughts on this, right? Mm-hmm. It sounds like Billie Lee has acknowledged, right, that there was a lot of use of the trans card back then. So it shows at least some life of growth.
Reflection, yeah.
And I think that that's like a big premise of her book because it does address like unintended microaggressions.
Okay.
I don't plan on reading this book. I'm sorry, Billie, but I'm glad to see that there is that reflection there.
Yes. Well, I like growth, self-reflection. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now we can officially close the book, hopefully, on the Billie Lee, the Victoria Lee, the Kyle Chan drama.
Can't do it anymore.
Until
oh no.
Tom Sandoval comes back from Scotland.
Oh, you're right.
Mind you guys, he is apparently still on the Traitors. Apparently, he has not been murdered or sent home yet, so I don't get that. But
making it past week 1 is surprising.
Shocking.
With Dorinda and Dolores there, I'm shocked.
Shocked. I'm so excited, though, for the season.
I was talking to my coworker, because she's a huge Housewives fan, and I was telling her about Thomas on it and how I think it was Dorinda or Dolores, I forget which one it was, that potentially has shown up first day with the Team Ariana shirt, and I was telling her about it. And I was like, I've never watched the Traitors, and I never had desire to until this season, because I cannot tell you how excited I am to watch these two housewives just fucking eviscerate Tom Sandoval.
I hope to see it.
They are two of my favorite housewives of the entire franchise. They are perfect television, and I'm so excited for them to go in there and be like, "You, Tom, Team Ariana, bitch."
Wait, actually, I do feel the need to address this real quick now that we are still on Tom Sandoval being on TV discussion.
Yes.
Rumor has it.
Mm-hmm.
He may possibly be in talks of being on Dancing with the Stars. Cheryl Burke, previous pro to Dancing with the Stars.
I don't really. She's not on the show anymore.
She's not, but she's still tight with casting directors. Apparently, and I just saw a post about this today. I don't remember from who, so I'm really sorry. But casting directors for the Traitors apparently are the same for Dancing with the Stars, which I don't understand because one's a Peacock show, the other is an ABC show, so I'm not sure how that works.
It's not. No, that's two different studios.
Yeah, so again, not sure how that works, but rumor has it he may or may not be on Dancing with the Stars, and if he is, I'm not going to watch.
His ass is going to be voted out week 1. Are you kidding me?
I would hope so, but listen, we know that Dancing with the Stars will produce a little bit, with who gets to move forward and who gets to stay.
Has anyone checked on Sheena?
Right. Look at what happened with Harry Jowsey.
And that kid, there's no way that kid lasted longer
than Mauricio.
And what's his name? The elder grandpa.
Oh, Greg Brady? I don't remember his actual name.
Yes.
Barry Williams, was
it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was voting for his ass every week. It was our little TV grandpa. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he got voted out before fucking Harry Jowsey.
Well, to your point, he kind of is he's hitting that target audience of Dancing with the Stars.
I know.
Because people have been watching that show for years, that's the target audience. So you're right. It is a little sus that Harry Jowsey would make it much farther than him.
Yes.
But that's my point, right?
Yes.
They would produce and continue to try and work on this redemption arc for Tom Sandoval. So what would be better, right, than to have him on Dancing with the Stars and make it maybe as far as Ariana, if not win? How fucked up would that be?
If he won over her, I would literally scream. The internet would go crazy.
Cuckoo bananas.
I really hope this rumor is just a rumor and we're just talking to stir some shit, because producers are dumb, but I hope they're not that dumb.
We pray.
Because it's very clear the audience what the audience wants is not fucking Tom Sandoval.
No.
Nobody wants Tom Sandoval.
No. Nobody wants him.
And
we do not claim him. We don't want him.
My other thing with that too is I can't really see them doing 2 Vanderpump people back-to-back seasons.
That's true.
That usually when they do that, it's a housewife and then, or Vanderpump, a season without somebody like that, and then another next season maybe there's usually they don't usually do someone from the same franchise that close together.
Well, now that you're mentioning it, who was the housewife that was in that blind item that got signed to be on Dancing with the Stars? Was that Dorinda?
It might have been. And then that is your Bravo person, and it wouldn't be Tom Sandoval.
Right.
They would only do one person from Bravo.
Ooh, okay.
They're not going to have 2 people. They're not going to have 2 people from the same
network.
Yeah. In the same circle of, especially if they're both on the Traitors together as well.
Yeah.
Then that is even stupider.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
So if anybody from Dancing with the Stars just happens to be watching, not that we think
Validate
they are, please don't. Please don't. We don't want Tom Sandoval. We like your show. We're just gonna, I don't want to see him on my TV anymore.
No.
I don't.
No. Nobody wants it. The internet doesn't want it. Nobody wants it. Yeah. No, the thing I thought you were going to talk about is the hypocrisy.
Go for it.
Okay.
Do it.
I have feelings. Okay. So Kenya, for my fellow housewives girlies and guys and gays, I should not discriminate. Kenya supposedly put up a revenge porn photo of the recent. They're currently filming the season right now. So this is.
Which housewives is she in?
Atlanta.
Okay.
This is Atlanta. So supposedly on camera while they were filming, she posted this photo of the newest addition to the housewives. Yes. So now she has supposedly, Bravo has taken action, as they should. Okay, as they should. That is not something that it should be acceptable, no matter your gender. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So she has been suspended indefinitely. So far as I've heard, filming is still going. It doesn't sound like filming has paused. I'm trying to, fish my way on our Instagram and see what's happening. But the hypocrisy of this is that Tom Sandoval has a whole ass lawsuit against him. This is the thing. You are taking action.
Two lawsuits.
You are taking action immediately when this is happening. Right? It comes out, you do it, she's suspended. All within maybe like a couple weeks of this shit going on. Tom Sandoval records a video of, and as much as I do not like Rachel, this is fucked up. He recorded a video without her permission of her doing something sexually, right? But he's not fired. And he's getting on Traitors, and he's staying on his show, and he's potentially going on Dancing with the Stars. Like, if you're gonna hold one of your people accountable, fucking hold all your people accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Tom arguably probably did way worse.
Yeah, way worse.
Because the photo, from what I hear, the photo is either it's like a Photoshop. It's not real. Is what it sounds like.
I mean, it's still equally as horrible.
It's equally as horrible. It's gross, but it's not like actually this housewife.
Right. Okay.
So it's like
she's trying to portray it as.
Yes. That's what I have been reading. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. It's very hard to keep up with everything. But like, why the fuck are we not holding Tom accountable?
Yeah. That's really fucked up. What's with Bravo and not holding their men accountable?
Like, why are we? You absolutely should be taking actions against Kenya. This is the correct thing to do. You have made the correct decision, right? Because this shit should not be tolerated, right? There is a line you do not cross. She crossed it. She's out. Tom Sandoval crossed that line. Why is he not out?
He caused like an entire shitstorm.
He literally blew up your entire network.
Well,
he has a whole lawsuit against him. And you're just out here like, oh, it's fine. She's fired, but like he can still.
One made the network money and the other one did not, I guess.
It's just fucked up. It's fucked up. If you're gonna, it should not be rules for me, not for we, or whatever that fucking expression is. If you're gonna take action against Kenya, as you rightfully should, it is the correct decision. Fucking do that with everybody. And that's my say on that.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. So we are outraged.
I'm outraged. I think it's disgusting what Kenya has done. I think that is a line you do not cross. I don't care what that person has said, done. I don't care. You don't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the action against her, correct. But also, he's right there.
Well, shit. But thank you guys for watching part 1 of this episode. Mm-hmm. And if you guys have stuck around, like I said, thanks. Leave some comments, like this video. Or if you're not watching on YouTube, like this episode, follow our podcast on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Amazon, anywhere and everywhere that you probably get your podcasts. We are there. And we hope that you join us for part 2 because now we're going to get into Love Island.
Yay!